Brought to you by Fastpitch TV and sponsored by 3-Piece Tea, here's another episode from the 2015 College World Series.
Okay, at this time, we have the pleasure of having Florida head coach Tim Walton, student athlete Lauren Hager, student athlete Nicole DeWitt, student athlete Kelsey Stewart, and coming soon will be student athlete Taylor Swartz. Coach, general comments about the game, then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, before I start with the game, just want to congratulate Michigan on a phenomenal season. To have two teams coming down at the end with almost identical records, and win this game to be the overall winning percentage leader in the country just says a lot about not only both programs but the coaching staffs and the players. And also want to thank the NCAA for hosting this event. I thought it was one of the best events. That obviously it's easy to sit up here and say that, but just a great event. All the amenities they've added here and taking care of the fields and the grounds crew and getting everything right. And then of course ESPN and the viewership and the viewers and the fans. I heard it was the biggest event watched last year, and the number 74,000 here that came into, or 77,000 that came through the gates. Just we couldn't have what we have without that and that support. So just thanks for everybody for being there and supporting these kids. And I'll make it simple. I thought we really committed to we really owned making an adjustment at the plate. And I think last night my words probably are still ringing in some of their heads. But overall, just the adjustment we made, and again, our pitching staff, just so proud of our pitching staff. Without Alicia Ocasio and Delaney Gorley on Monday night, we wouldn't be sitting up here right now, I'm pretty sure of it. And Lauren, just can't say enough about Lauren's season and what she's meant to us both in the circle, at the plate, and in the locker room. And the confidence and the work ethic she's brought this year is tremendous, and rewarded for that with Player of the Year, but now also with a national championship trophy to go with that, and a ring, and SEC championships. So really proud of our players, and just thankful that that I'm their coach and they buy into what we do. A lot of confidence.
Questions?
Jason Kersey from the Oklahoman. Kelsey, in the first inning, you took what looked like a really painful hit on your knee. You were able to get to second on the attempted fielder's choice. You scored the first run. How much pain were you in, and can you just sort of take us through what that was like?
I think anytime you get hit in the kneecap, it's going to cause a lot of pain, And it was just hit me in the right spot, and I really just had to work through it. But once I saw Nicole lay that bunt down, I saw the third baseman try to throw me out, and there's no way that was happening today. And then, Lauren just coming clutch like she always does. That first run, whoever scored the first run of these past 3 games has won the game. So I thought that was a big uplifting thing for us.
Chris Harry, GatorsZone.com. Tim and Lauren, you mentioned the adjustments. Can you be any more specific on what adjustments those might have been?
Yeah, we really were. We're having problems getting extension. We couldn't get any extension, and I couldn't get any clear definition of why we couldn't get extension. If it was velocity or if it was movement, and so we, if you noticed, a lot of the hitters, they're choked up probably 4 or 5 inches on the bat. And I gave an interesting analogy, I think, today that one of the greatest home run hitters of all time, Barry Bonds, used a 32-inch bat and choked up 2 to 3 inches, and he can hit just fine. So let's find a way to make contact. Let's hit hard ground balls today. And our jam shots that were going to the catcher and pitcher the last couple of days, finally got over the shortstop's head, and we were able to make that adjustment.
Same thing. Yeah, he said it all. That's exactly what we did. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, then let me ask you, what was your day like yesterday? You sat on that podium, both you and Taylor Fuller said that you were coming with different energy, and you scored 3 runs in the first inning. So there's the different energy. But what was the day like? Did you get rid of yesterday mentally and just kind of focus on what was ahead?
Oh, yeah. I think we used it as motivation. We kind of just realized that this isn't going to be handed to us, and we really needed to work hard. Michigan was a great team, and they are a great team. And we just had a different attitude today. You could see it in our eyes. You could see it in each other. You could hear it in our conversations. We were a different team. We were who we are today, and I couldn't be more proud of my teammates.
Pat Dooley Gainesville. Son, for Lauren and Taylor, can you talk about your emotions when you saw the weak grounder going to first? And for Lauren, can you talk about, did you think you were going to die underneath that dog pile?
Yeah, my leg was not in the right position. And it just kept getting heavier and heavier. And I was like, get off of me. But it was great. I tried to, hold it out as long as I could. But when I saw that ground ball go to Taylor, I froze. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. Oh my gosh. And Taylor stepped on the base. I looked at Aubrey. She threw her glove in the air. I was like, I threw my glove in the air. I've never been in that position before. I've never been in the circle when that happened. And I was like, all right, here comes the dog pile. And it was a crazy feeling. It was very slow motion for me. And it was just an amazing feeling that I will feel for forever.
Definitely the same thing. I think it's crazy how last year I made the last out, and then this year I made the last out. So I was really just like trying to soak it in, because I remember last year it just went by so fast, and I saw that ball coming to me. I was like, get the ball, tag the base, and then I was like, okay, now you can throw your glove and the ball in there. So, I mean, so much fun, and yeah, I got up out of the dog pile with dirt all over my face, but it was so worth it.
Nico Tan, ESPN 850 coach. I know you never forget your first, but does it feel any sweeter the second time around?
Yeah, it was a little bit more emotional than the first. It was a kind of interesting thing. I don't know if it was a relief. Everybody had said how many times we'd been here before and not won it last year, and I guess I never even thought of it that way. And last year was just a lot of celebration. This time was a little bit different emotion, and I'm proud of watching these athletes just go out and continue to compete. And I got a bunch of competitors on our team. And I'm proud of just the way they went out and competed and really just raised that trophy up the way we did. And the way we run our program and the way the players play in our program with a lot of class and a lot of positive energy for kids out there. I'm really proud of them.
And then, Lauren, the last game in your career, how do you want Gator fans to remember your legacy?
I mean, I just want everyone to know me as a person more than a softball player, and that when you work hard, good things happen for you. When you really buy into something, I bought into what Coach Walton does and did, and it worked out. And I just am so thankful to be a Gator, and it's been a great time.
Fernando, the ESPN 850 coach, the message at the beginning of the season was to let last year's team be last year's team. And throughout the course of the year, how well did they do at that task of making their own memories and making their own moments?
Yeah, I think the key word you used there is their own moments. We had some ups and downs this seasons personally for some individuals on our team. One at the end of the podium down there, and Taylor Schwartz, kid who's played every game her first couple years, and this year kind of platooned a little bit. And I'm proud of them. They all understand. And I think the key to this creating your own moment is we've got 20 players on our team, and each one has a role, and each one brings value to the team. And if you can put yourself aside, your own selfish instincts that you want to play every game and support your teammates, good things happen for you. And I think that's the key. That's one of the things we worked on so hard. A good friend of ours now, all of ours, and our Brett Ledbetter, and what he did for us and helped us learn about the character components. Winning and losing kind of comes and goes. But you as a person is never going to go anywhere, and the foundation of what we've built here is so important to me. And again, I think that the kids on this podium, really are good examples of that. Taylor Schwartz is none better, having to watch somebody else play for a while, and then I felt like we had a good matchup. I felt like she matched up the best with Haley Wagner, and there she was with the biggest hit of our season, that's for sure.
Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Lauren, can you talk about scoring from second there in the first? Just talk me through that. And then Tim, sort of a follow-up, as Lauren was talking about her legacy. Is there a word or two that come to mind for you when you think about her mark on this program after 4 years?
Well, when Taylor hit the ball, I was just like, there's 2 outs, and I was putting my head down and trying to run as fast as I can. I'm not the fastest, but Coach was waving me around, and I was like, here it comes. And I was like, am I going to have to head first slide? Am I going to have to slide by? I was like, oh my gosh. But I just was trying to run as fast as I could. I saw her give me a part of the plate, and I just tried to slide right in. I was just trying to run as fast as I could.
Jenny, I think probably one of the biggest things that I'll say Lauren's left her mark. And one thing that always stands in my mind is what her dad said to me in the recruiting process is that Lauren's always everybody's favorite player on the team, not because she hits home runs or she strikes everybody out, because of her personality. She came to us speaking 5 or 6 different languages, and none of which any of us understand. They're not written languages. They're all languages amongst her teammates and all of her teams. And everybody from Team USA to her high school team to her travel ball team to now her college team and soon to be her pro team, she's always the most likable person on the team. She's fun-loving. She just has fun and doesn't really take anything too serious. But the mark that she's going to leave on our program. Once she graduates, next year, she'll have a big sign like all the rest of the greatest skaters in program's history, because that's what she is. She's one of the greatest skaters that ever play and put the uniform on. And and we talked about the person, we talked about the player, and we talked about the student side of things. And she's really bought into us. And I think I'm proud of her for all she's accomplished, but I'm more proud of her about how she's going to move on and be a great human being. And she'll have a special part in my family, because my family loves her and loves what she's done. And I think the easiest thing to say is she's one of the greatest players to ever play the game for the University of Florida Gators.
Jason Kersey from the Oklahoman. Tim, have you ever been part of a game where there were so many batters hit by pitches?
I think the last time was probably Michigan. The last time we played them, I know, and I love Coach Hutch. I love her, and I told her before the first game, it's a privilege to play on the field with her and her team and her, what she does at Michigan. They play with a lot of class. None of those were intentional, did I see, and nobody was complaining. They weren't complaining when we were getting hit. I wasn't complaining when they were getting hit. Two teams trying to find a way to take away somebody's best pitch, and I don't think really anything was. There was a couple that were maybe a little close, but hey. I've said it all year long. If somebody wants to stand in and take a dose, I'm all for it, and she's all for it. I can hear her in the third, and she's smiling and pumping her fist. And but again, I think that's just part of the game, and it didn't change the outcome of the game, fortunately. But I don't think I've been a part of that many like that. That's for sure.
Kelsey and Taylor, you had the two big hits. Chris Harris from GatorsZone.com. Kelsey and Taylor, you had the two big hits. Can you just speak to what Tim was talking about, just the mentality or the change-up of the approach, going up to bat against Wagner this time?
I think earlier today at early hitting, we really just bought into what Coach Walton was saying, making the right adjustments off of Wagner. She's a great pitcher, and we knew that she was going to come out hot, and we just had to make the adjustments. Honestly, in my at-bat, I really wasn't thinking about anything. I was just trying to get the barrel on the ball, and obviously it fell in the right spot. But if it wasn't for Coach Walton making those adjustments and really buying into it and believing in the process of it like we have all year, then I don't think we would have had the result we had today.
Yeah, I have to go with Taylor. Coach really, we worked this morning on getting on the plate and really looking for my pitch, and I was looking for an inside pitch, and if she was dared to come inside, she got a little too close to me and hit me. But then that last pitch, I was trying to hit it up the middle because the middle was wide open, and that's my strength, and it just happened that I got a good piece of it.
This is for Tim. With both Lauren and Hannah Rogers last season, we saw seniors kind of reach a fork in the road and choose a certain path. Why and how did that happen 2 years in a row?
I think both, if I can look at the physical attributes, I think both of them developed a good off-speed pitch late in their career. I think that's the key. Hannah developed her off-speed pitch last year about 3/4 of the way through the season. Lauren decided to get her off-speed pitch about late January, maybe a little bit early February, and those have been the two physical attributes that I can say. And then I go to the mental side of things that obviously pushes them physically. They just worked really hard with Coach Rocha and being able to get into the bullpen and work on what they're good at, know the opponent, and I think overall their work ethic. Hannah had a strong work ethic the whole time she was here, just because she was pretty much our go-to pitcher for a long time. Lauren kind of picked and chose her moments because she understood, I'm not going to go in there and exhaust myself for 45 minutes in a bullpen when I'm not even going to get the ball on Friday night. And Hannah's, has proven to be that. So I think she bought in and really kind of changed her work ethic in the circle, in the bullpen. More, I won't say probably the whole year, but probably from about November on, she really kind of bought into, hey, I got a chance to pitch a lot this year.
Jason Kersey from the Oklahoman. Lauren, considering this is your last game, obviously you'll take the result, but were you frustrated that you only got to really bat once?
Not at all. Coach Walton's always told me, take your walks, and I will take my walks. I was just having a really great tournament. I was seeing the ball really well, and we would have done the exact same thing to whoever was hitting as well as I was on that side too. And no, I'm very proud of the way I hit, and yeah.
Nico Tan, E50, Nicole, I assumed you watched last year's national championship team from your couch, and now you're at the podium here in Oklahoma City. How does it feel to be a part of a championship team?
It's a great feeling. I don't think it's quite hit me yet that I'm actually a national champion, but I know that it's happened. I'm just so proud of my team, and I'm just so happy to actually experience this with these girls. And I don't know, I can't believe that it's happened. I've grown up looking forward to this moment, and now it's here.
And then, Coach, he's not at the podium right now, but expand on how big Katie Medina has been for this team.
Yeah, it's funny when you go through. Yesterday, I brought some socks and some extra shoes because they always get wet in big moments. And today I was like, forget this. I'm not bringing anything extra. I had in my back of my mind, I really was hoping that whoever selected the all-tournament team would recognize one of our most valuable players on our team, not only defensively, but what she brings leadership-wise and personality-wise. Katie Medina, is Lauren Hager gets all the recognition, but Katie Medina is one of the best shortstops in the country on one of the best teams in the country, and she should be recognized on the all-tournament team in my mind.
Are there any other questions?
This question for Taylor. Pete LaFleur, College Softball 360. Taylor, I had a chance to visit with your mom and your sister yesterday, with your brother also being a star player for the baseball team. And I was just wondering if you could kind of reflect on how valuable it's been with him being there at school with you, especially as Coach mentioned, your role, a little more of a role player this year, and just kind of how that's been kind of a special year. I know you're going to be helping out ESPN in a couple weeks in Omaha. Is that correct? And
hopefully.
Hopefully you'll get to see him play there as well. And also, I wondered if you could comment on your defensive ability and how that developed over the years. You had some key defensive plays during this series.
I've grown up with my brother. I've grown up watching him and his work ethic and his love for the game. Definitely my dad is a huge part of that because no matter what he was doing, he always took time to work with my brother and I. And just growing up with him and seeing his love for the game really inspired me. Like I said before, I mimicked his swing. That's why I hit righty, because that's what I was seeing when I was little. And having him come to UF is just like having another support system there. And he would throw me batting practice if I wasn't having a good weekend. And he's having an amazing year, and he deserves it because he's worked his butt off to get what he has gotten so far. And I'm just so proud of him, and I'm just lucky to be a sister.
And then your defense, where'd that come from?
I don't know. I'm a lefty, and Coach Wallen tried to put me in the outfield, and it was absolutely awful and embarrassing. So, really, what other place can I play in the infield besides first base? So I really just tried to master it, and I love it. That's the thing. I love defense, and I thrive off of it, so I think that's what makes it so great.
All right, Coach, student athletes, congratulations again. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Andrea Durant. I'm a two-time national champion with UCLA, a two-time world champion with the USSSA Florida Pride, and a 2008 U.S. silver medalist with Team USA. I believe that the three-piece tee is a great tool, whether you're just starting out playing softball or you're a U.S. Olympian, because everybody needs balance in their swing, because balance is power.